What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today I wanted to start a plat making series going in depth into all possible methods of making plat. As the first video of this series, I wanted to cover the Nightfall Apothic farm because I feel like it is extremely underrated, and if done correctly and efficiently, it can actually be an incredible way to make plat. I made a set of two different requirements, the minimal requirement and the max efficiency requirement. So for the minimal requirements, you must have Mastery rank 7, you must have completed the Silver Growth quest, or at least the first Apothic part to get the Nightfall Apothic blueprint. You need a Korra with Pilfering Strangledome, you need a Hydroid with Pilfering Swarm, 2 Chesacubers with the mod Retrieve equipped, and either Codex scanners or Synthesis scanners to scan plants, and lastly a heavy slash damage weapon, preferably melee. For the max efficiency requirements, basically use everything that I ask in the minimal requirements, but instead you want a max of 4 Chesacuberos with the Retrieve mod equipped, a Smita Kavad for plants, it stacks with your Synthesis upgrade, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Necros for Desecrate. I would also recommend using a Wukong as your 4th Warframe. The passive of that Monkey Lock that Wukong has is a bit weird. However, there might be a possibility of 4 mods instead of 3, but it needs testing, and I don't recommend using it. However, if you just have these 3 Warframes there, try it with Wukong to see what happens, because it might help you get 3, possibly 4, but I don't recommend using it. I'm just giving you guys the idea if you want to do it. It's just not as efficient because you have to kill yourself to trigger that passive, which takes time, so it's not that efficient. But feel free to try it. Then you also need Cloud's Weapon with a heavy attack build. I recommend the Cloud's Weapon because they proc slash on heavy attack 100% of the time. And you want to kill this Knave or this Spectre with slash damage. I also recommend using the Oxylus Sentinel with the Botanist mod to passively scan plants. It might be a bit bugged. I would recommend using the Assault Mode mod into it so that it actually does scan. But it's a bit weird. I still recommend it because it does scan plants passively. You don't have to look for plants, it will just scan them for you, so that's super nice. Make sure you use the Synthesis Scanner upgrades, the Cross Matrix widget, and the Soul Battery widgets. The Cross Matrix one is so that you have a chance of scanning twice. So if you scan a plant, you might actually get 2 plants instead of 1. And then the Soul Battery one just lets you have infinite Synthesis scanners, so you don't have to worry about buying them or ever spending money or wasting time going to buy from Samaris. And last but not least, you want to have the Golden Instinct ability in a Warframe. You get from the Helminth. You can get the Helminth from Sun in Deimos. I would recommend putting that as a ability on either Warframe, either your Wukong or some other Warframe. The 4th Warframe should have that ability because it will help you find treasures like sculptures or maybe rare crates. For the minimal requirements, you only need 2 people for a chance of getting 3 mods per Apothic. I recommend that per person, you should get enough plants to make 10 Apothics each. This means you need around 120 Sunlight Thrushcones, 20 Dusklight Saracenias, and 60 Moonlight Dragon Lilies. For max efficiency, you have a group of 4, so each person will get 10 Apothics made for a total of 40 Apothics to crack open. Each Apothic will drop around 2 to 3 mods, meaning between 80 to 120 mods possible. Sometimes you get the same mod per Apothic, sometimes you get different mods. The mod we are aiming to get here is going to be Growing Power, which usually sells between 20 plat to 40 plat. I had a friend who I ran this with already, and he's on PC, but he was able to sell his for 25 plat within a day of getting this mod. So as long as you're consistent trying to sell it, checking market, you're going to be able to sell it because it is pretty popular mod, and I believe people do want this. For farming these plants, the most important thing to keep in mind is that stupid Earth day-night cycle. I am not talking about the Cetus one, I'm talking about the overall Earth cycle. It switches between day and night around every 3 to 4 hours. You may have to look up how much time you have left on each cycle when farming plants. When farming the Sunlight Thrushcones, I recommend using the Oxylus with the Botanist mod equipped so that you don't have to focus too much on looking for these plants since they are all over the place. Also, make sure to check if there's a Lith Relic mission on Earth with that Grenier Forest tile set. That is either Exterminate, Survival, Mobile Defense, Capture, Rescue, or Sabotage. Basically anything with different rooms so that, like for example, you don't want Defense or Interception since they're just locked in one spot. You want as many rooms as possible on that Grenier tile set. By doing this, you are farming these plants and getting prime parts that can either be sold as prime junk for plat, or turn into ducats to buy stuff from Barokatir, the Void Trader, to either buy for yourself or sell someone else, whatever Baro has for plat. For farming Moonlight Dragon Lilies or those Dusklight Saracenias, Don't use the Oxalis since there is only a few around. Instead, take a Smita to get a chance of doubling your scans. If you are using the Synthesis Scanner with the upgrade, and you have the Smita on you and it procs, you can max out 4 plants per scan. It is rare, but you will be getting either 1, 2, or a max of 4 per scan. With a booster, you can max out at 8 per scan. And it gets better. In this Earth tile set, there's plenty of Kubros all over the place, so you can also farm for Bite, which is a very rare mod that can also sell for around 30 to 50 plat. And last but not least, if you have the Golden Instinct ability unlocked from your helmet, you can also use it to easily farm sculpture since it is a 1 in 7 chance to spawn per mission, which you can sell these sculptures for even more plat if you find some. If you're using the minimal requirements, then just simply scan these plants the best that you can, kill Kubros with either Frame for a chance of getting Bite, and try to do them in the Lith Relic mission on that Grenier tile set. I wouldn't recommend looking for sculptures since it may be a huge waste of time, unless of course you have that Golden Instinct ability. Then go ahead and look for them. When opening the Apothics, it is important that the Hydroid ultimate hits the Knave Spectre so that it drops another reward. If it fails to work, this is why we have Cora to use her Strangle Dome with the mod equipped to help secure the bonus reward. Now if that happens to also fail, you have the Necros Desecrate to back it up and secure the second reward. And if that also fails, you still have the 2 to 4 chests of Kubros to help loot the body. Based on doing some research on the wiki, it looks like the Pilfering Strangle Dome and Pilfering Storm do not stack. However, either one stacks with Desecrate. After doing my own personal testing, using Necros with either Hydroid or Cora with 2 chests of Kubros still resulted in only 2 rewards, with a rare 3 every now and then, but it was very inconsistent. You were mainly getting 2. I may have gotten incredibly unlucky, or maybe there was simply no way to get a third mod. However, while doing these runs, I would occasionally get 3 rewards per Apothic, only with the minimal requirements, and only if you continue to literally beat the living shit out of the Knave's body. Now, to make everything clear, to get a chance of 3 mods, you have to make sure that the tentacles touch the Knave and make sure that the Strangle Dome also hits the Knave. At the same time, Necro should have his Desecrate active at all times, and when the Knave dies, he will spam Desecrate 4 to 5 times. If you're using the minimal requirements, just let your Kubros Desecrate, so don't worry about it. Kill the Knave with a heavy attack from a Claws weapon to trigger a 100% slash proc. If it doesn't die with the first hit, just keep spamming until he does. If you don't have the claws, just hit him with as much slash as you can. The cool thing about Cora is that she does have Venari, and Venari hits slash. And Strangle Dome also does slash damage, which can help out a lot. But hit him with as much slash as possible. Now, be also very careful with his Disarm ability because it will nullify all abilities in the area, turning off Desecrate, the Hydroid Swarm, and the Cora's Strangle Dome. Then when it's dead, find a body and beat the living crap out of it for that chance of a third mod if it did not spawn when the Knave died. I'll repeat this multiple times and you'll be receiving about 3 mods every now and then, but should be a safe 2 mods per Apothic. Here in this clip you can see me getting 3 mods with the minimal requirements, and they all happen to be different aura mods too. I wanted to make a little section on why things work the way they do in this section, even though if you look it up on the wiki it's not exactly clear because I don't think many people have tried what I'm doing. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong just let me know and I'm wrong, right? But I have not found anything on this. So why is this happening? Why can we get 3 mods? I have some theories but nothing concrete. However, the fact that it works may be proving some right. My first theory is that Chesa Kubros Retrieve and Desecrate are the same ability. So that mod for your Kubra Retrieve is the exact same thing as Necro's Desecrate. The wiki says that Desecrate and Retrieve do not stack, which makes sense because in theory 2 Necroses, when they Desecrate, it does not stack. Both of their Desecrates do not stack. Also, remember, right, Retrieve when it functions, it has the same visual of Necros' Desecrate ability. And I tested this, I looked at them back to back. You use Necros, it looks like this, boom, body this kind of vaporizes and gives you loot. You use the Chesa Kubro, body also vaporizes and gives you loot. So they function the same, they don't stack, and they look the same. And not only that, but Retrieve also works on the Apothic Spectres as well. So with this in mind, Desecrate can work on one enemy a max of 2 times. With slash procs, a normal enemy body can be cut into 2 big pieces, and each part desecrated for more loot. So am I saying that the knave's body is chopped up into pieces with slash procs? Well, yes and no. Visually, the knave's body does not seem to be cut into pieces regardless of how much slash or how much you hit it. It doesn't matter, it will always be intact, it'll be one piece. However, with the testing that I have done, if you kill it with slash and you keep link hitting the body, it will consistently give you a third mod every now and then. There's plenty of factors at play here that help towards getting the third mod, but by having the minimal requirements, I guarantee you that you will be getting 3 mods every now and then. And lastly, I have yet to experiment with Wukong's Monkey Lock in the mix of everything, but feel free to try his passive with all the other Warframes and the Kubros involved. Just make sure that the Wukong is the one killing when that passive is active, or else the double loot does not work. He has to be the one that kills, and I feel like having him there will either help secure 3 mods per Apothic, or even give you a 4th one. However, I think it's very unlikely, but it's worth a shot. That is it for the video, guys. I hope this was helpful. Doing this method can take time with the minimal requirements. However, I believe it is incredibly rewarding, as I know you guys will receive a growing power mod if you crack 40 relics with your squad. It's basically almost a guarantee by this point. And you also have a chance to get the Bite mod as well as sculptures. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you tried this method before? Do you like it? Or do you have another go-to plat making method? I'll be covering many strategies in the future, so please make sure to subscribe and leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.